All right, so this is war number 11 of the season, and we're up against Apoco. Now, I talk a lot about how much we love alliances like SAS and SSX when we match them. There's no love here. Not a fan of Apoco. These guys are not clean. They finished second last season. We finished third. And they're so arrogant that they changed their alliance name from I don't even know what it was to Apoco's Elite Pilots, just to kind of rub it in everybody's face. Pretty classy. So anyway, these guys during the off season we matched them, and we did what we do in every off season war for the last 20 seasons, which is we take it very easy. We let people experiment. We don't assign paths. We don't ask people to finish their lanes or use any items. We are literally out there messing around and experimenting. And we died quite a bit, of course. And these guys were actually talking trash about an off-season war. Really embarrassing for them. Pretty pathetic. But so this is actually pretty funny here. So you see me moving up here. I'm sharing energy with somebody else on my path. And I'm going to be quaking this green goblin. I am going to change my masteries a little bit. I'm changing them to give me half suicides. I really like half suicides, and I was a little bit nervous about this. I just didn't want to die against Apoco because we hate them so much. And so I put on max Quake masteries here for attack. And then I'm like, all right, I better duel a green goblin. So I go in and I duel. Watch the health bar. 3-star versus a 6-star. You know, this is a pretty long duel, but you guys can see that I'm doing pretty well here. And I've been dueling for, I'm guessing, like 2 minutes by that point. So I'm like, all right, cool. I got it. I'm good. I've got the rhythm, everything. So I duel him perfectly, never get touched. I think you know where this is headed. So then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to crush this fight. This fight's going to be, way faster than that duel, obviously. Let me throw on these 6-hour boosts because I've got some more fights in Section 2. And, it's a rank 3 6-star Green Goblin, but who really cares? I don't want to be doing parry style here because it's got kinetic transference. And, Quake, his animations are fairly I would say obvious to identify, so that usually makes for a good Quake matchup. So I'm coming in here and I'm like, all right, yeah, let me get backed into a corner here. Going well. That medium of his, when he like tries to jump kick you off of his board, it's so much different than his light attacks. It makes it a lot easier to see that. And differentiating between a second medium and another light attack is kind of the key to being an elite dex style Quaker. Which, by the way, I am not an elite. I'm not trying to say that. I would say an above average Quaker. But there we go. I get smashed in the face, lose half of my health, and I'm like, okay. I just dueled this guy, had 0 issues. What is my freaking problem? But fortunately, we are going to get through this fight. Let me just spoil it. And, ultimately, it's going to cost me items. It's a little embarrassing. Normally, I don't record duels, obviously. I actually just recorded that duel because I recorded myself entering the map screen with my attackers and then forgot to stop recording, and then I decided to exit the map screen and go do a duel real quick. And I thought it was so funny that I dueled and then I got slapped around in the actual war fight that I was going to keep it in. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. All right. In Section 2, I'm on Path 8, which is the passive heal block path. And I've got 2 fights here. I've got an Elsa Bloodstone I'm going to use Apocalypse for, and then I've got a Hulkbuster that I'm going to use Quake for. Now, this is really good placement for Hulkbuster. I'll talk about why when we get to that fight. And here you see I am taking off the Bleed Suicide because this has a passive heal block. I want to keep my health. But I do need to make sure that I'm getting a maximum amount of attack here, which is why I give myself 3 out of 3 glass cannon. And the reason is because this path applies weaknesses to you each buff that the defender gets. And you guys will notice there that I don't think that I was boosted other than maybe 1 6-hour boost that I had on. So I just literally forgot to boost. And I'm going in here with an Apocalypse. I've only got 1 prowess because I don't have any synergies, and this is my first fight using him. And Elsa does gain a lot of precision buffs throughout the fight. So you guys are going to see that little weakness debuff keep reapplying itself. There it is, because she gained another precision buff, which is that yellow bullseye buff next to the poison debuff. This node does have her double determination, so my bleeds and the poison, there you guys can see her power meter is jumping up quite a bit each hit. That's totally okay. I do want to bait out the SP1 because I don't want to mess with the SP2. I can block the SP2 on this node, that's fine, but you know, I just wanted to play it safe, and the SP1 is something that I can dex 99 times out of 100 cleanly, so I'd rather just do that. And that just means that I'm going to spend a little bit of time here baiting her out. But again, it's ultimately not really a huge issue. This is going to be a little bit longer fight than I would like, but it's a very, very safe fight, and I've got a lot of wiggle room or a lot of margin for error here with Apocalypse, who is he's just a huge beefcake. And again, I do think that I have on, we'll check after this fight, but I think that I have on some 6-hour boosts. So, yeah, should be okay here. And as you guys have noticed, when I do have a lot of weaknesses built up, just before I threw my last special attack, I had 4 of them built up. I can just empty those weaknesses by throwing another special attack. So it's not a huge deal. It's just, you know, this has been a 2-minute fight with class advantage using Apocalypse against a defender that doesn't have a crazy high health pool. So it's just a little bit longer of a fight, but really no danger here. I also could have used Quake. I'm just less comfortable quaking Elsa's animations. And my margin for error quaking Elsa with class disadvantage and with her crit rate and with her ability to apply Cold Snap, I would have basically no margin for error. And after that Green Goblin fight, I had no intention of quaking that fight. So, all right, so this fight, this is going to be a long one, and I'm just going to forewarn you here. I am going to speed up a lot of the fight, and I'm going to slow down a couple different points. But this is a good placement for Hulkbuster because he starts every fight as a defender with an armor buff, and after 15 seconds he gains a second armor buff. In each weakness debuff that is applied to us, and we get 1 for each buff that is activated on the defender, that reduces our attack by, I believe, 15%. So that's a pretty significant reduction. And later in this fight, as a defender, Hulkbuster can gain more than 2 armor buffs. Now, my concussions are preventing him from gaining additional armor buffs. But he is going to sneak one in here. You guys see he gets a 3rd armor buff, and I get a 3rd weakness debuff. So my attack is now reduced by 45%. I'm pretty sure every time I say something with that kind of conviction, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to sound like a complete idiot if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, somebody's definitely going to comment in the comment section, as they should. So I think that it's 15% attack rating reduction, but it's possible that I'm wrong. Anyway, you guys can see, fairly safe fight. It's just, boy, was that a long one. All right, so here I am applying a couple read debuffs. We're going to go Suppression, which is going to reduce his defensive combat power rate, the power he gets from being hit. And then the second one was Petrify, which is going to reduce the powerful from afar power that he gains. So here we have a Man-Thing mini-boss. This is a very, very, very easy Quake fight. He does have quite a bit of health. I really think that this is a waste of Man-Thing as a defender. There are a couple other nodes where he is much, much more difficult. And he's just going to get quaked 100% of the time here, at least in the top tier. These guys know that. I mean, they did finish second last season, whether they deserve to or not, they did. So it's not like they don't know. I'm just kind of commenting for the viewers. If you're, if you actually want to try to get kills with Man-Thing, this is not the place to put them. You can put them on node 37, node 39, even nodes 40 or 46 with Buffet. They're at least more difficult to quake. This one is going to be a straight up, literal, super easy quake parry style fight. Now the reason that I'm doing quake parry here is because number one, I am very comfortable with quake parry, more so than dex style. But also, if I were to dex and trigger a precision buff for myself, then he has, I think it's a 5% chance to, on contact, to convert any buff that I have into a postural. And then once that postural expires, he can get Mystic Dispersion from that. So I just go 100% safe mode, go with the parry style, and that's it for my war. So clean war for me, only a few fights, but that is okay. We had an awesome war. We ended up beating these guys. Felt like vindication. We finished in BG3 with only 1 death, which I was very proud of. And I do think that we're a better alliance than these guys. They also had 1 goober not place defense. Anyway, a little bit of smack talk. They totally deserve it, so don't feel bad. And here are the cards: FaZe, PWF, and of course Bren with his incredible season. Leave a like and a comment, subscribe, and my next video is going to be a combination of War 12 and my Season 25 rewards opening. I think that you're going to want to watch that. I think that you'll be interested in that. Some good stuff in there, so I will see you then.